With all of this focus on personal development, it'd be easy to think that you're broken and need fixing. But I'm here to say that you are not broken and you are not a project that needs fixing. But if you don't take control of your patterns, they will break you. I'm Nicola, and my passion is helping parents and not yet parents release their stuff so they don't pass it on to their kids and repeat the cycle. And I've been exploring ways to break my patterns of pain for over 25 years. When you first get into personal development, it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking you're just one massive fixer-upper. Or as the real estate agents would like to say, needs some love. You start to see so many new patterns that you weren't aware of before, and then you are inundated with a million different techniques to fix all of these things, and you get to a point where you start to feel like it would take you 20 lifetimes just to work through it all. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to understand that we've all gone through this experience, because I've been there. When I started really fully waking up in the late 2000s, I dove into it all, exploring everything, all these ideas, all these techniques, trying like everything like a kid in a candy shop. But then one day I started to feel like I was broken. I started to feel like I was doing all this work and yet there were still a million more things to be fixed. A bit like whack-a-mole, trying to do all this stuff and feeling like there was fundamentally something wrong with me and that I was never going to be able to get to the point where I was okay. And that's not a good place to be. And I had to embrace the idea that being human is about being imperfect. I had to accept this concept that imperfection, being flawed, having things to work on is part of the experience. There's nothing wrong with me for having things that aren't perfect. So I really need you to hear this. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. You are okay exactly as you are. You are enough. So why do any of this work? Why do all this personal development stuff? Why strive? Why try? Why try to better yourself? Well, this is the ultimate divine paradox. We are aiming to be the best possible version of ourselves from where we are. It's not about sitting back, cruising along, doing whatever the heck you feel like without thinking about the effect it's having on you or the people around you. That's like being asleep at the wheel. What we're trying to do is choose what feels best from where we are right now. Because you have patterns in you that are a result of all the experiences you've had up to this point in time that will derail you if you let them, if you don't make conscious choices, if you let them take control. You must take control of these patterns so that you're the one deciding how your life unfolds. For example, let's say we have a car and the engine is running rough. We wouldn't look at that car and say, oh, well, that car's broken, let's just throw it away and get a new one. No, we know that what we need to do is give that car a tune-up so that it runs at its best, so it runs optimally. And that's the same with personal development. But if we ignore those signs, it can develop into something more to the point where it causes a massive problem. So we're trying instead to shift the way that we see this work of personal growth. It's not that we're not doing it, we're looking at it differently. Yes, we're shifting and changing as human beings, and that's just part of what it is to be alive in this experience. But we're not fixing something that's broken, where instead we're trying to make the most of where we are right now, while also simultaneously recognizing that there are things that could be better. For example, maybe I could be eating better, or I could be getting more exercise, or maybe I could change the way I think about things. It's about simultaneously doing two things that seem at odds. It's about appreciating where we are right now, but also seeing what's possible for us and wanting that. So it starts with being intentional, making intentional choices, conscious choices, and taking deliberate action in our life so that we're in charge of how our lives unfold and the direction that they're headed, and so that our patterns are no longer the ones controlling us. How do we do this? Well, it starts by developing self-awareness. And then we can use that awareness to identify what's actually most important to us. Having that sense of what's important, we can then make conscious choices about what we do, what we think, what we say, how we act. And then as we act and live our lives, we can be aligned with who we really want to be and the best possible version of ourselves. And if you're feeling game, I'd love it if you'd share a pattern that you'll recognize in your own life that perhaps is more in control than you'd like it to be, so that we can all learn from your experience. I know for myself, a pattern I'm currently working on is impatience. I want everything to happen right now. I'm not willing to trust that things will unfold naturally in the right time and lead to the best possible outcomes. I've also got a journal with over 100 prompts that can help you as you work through identifying what these patterns are in your life that might be controlling you. I'll put a link to that for you in the description. And if you want to dive deeper into 4 different ways that you can unearth these issues that are getting in your way, that are controlling you where you'd rather they didn't, watch this video next. And I'll see you in the next one.